Mic check one.
Yep.
Thank you.
I am going to man the MRT news channel.
All right. So I'm going to station myself in the what station is this? In the South Station of the Central Park Railroad. So if anyone wants to just ride minecarts around aimlessly, then go ride the minecarts. And there's one loop that's continuous. So
Yeah, the outer one.
the outer one. Yep.
I'm already testing it.
Yeah, okay. And I have randomized the list already, so we are ready to go in just a second here.
Got stuck in the dispenser.
Oh, first order of business. Who organised the trustee meeting this time around?
Dan.
Yeah, Stan's filled in for Scully. Okay, I've encased myself in barriers, so if anyone wants to make this podium slightly fancier, go for it.
And I am here too, so you don't need to worry.
Mega!
Oh, excellent. Excellent. All right.
Yeah, Mega. Get a pop filter, please.
All right.
I cut it fine with my alarm, so...
We're going to do that. We're going to turn the sound off so that this is not a problem. Okay, let's get started. We do not have a private portion this time. We're just going to get right into it. Welcome to the February 2021 General Staff Meeting, Valentine's / Singles Awareness Day edition. The staff are currently careening around on the Central Park Railroad outer rail, which I have conveniently set to bypass every single station. So if you want to just ride around on that and not break anything, then go for it. Otherwise, I'm just chilling at South Station on that. We're going to get right into it with mod nominations. We only have one this time around, which is Cosmon. Thank you to everyone for the few that we got. I guess as usual, I think we can just jump right in. Do we want to just jump right into the vote, or does anyone want to make any comments before we start? For those wondering, we will be talking about the process, some process changes in community issues topic 5F. But is there anything that we want to discuss right away, or should we just get right into the ballot?
We do have enough people, right?
I think so. I've tried to make sure I updated the names on who's here today.
Yeah.
Do we have any?
Two. I did. I've got one from Volp who's here and one from Kyle who's here. So
we have 12 people here, so
yeah, which is out of 15 staff. That's almost everybody.
Nice.
Okay. So I've randomized the list on random.org. I will call out the names of people as we get down. Reminder that it's a 2/3 yes to pass. With 12 staff, that means we need 10. No, with
8.
2/3 of us, that means 8. Yeah, 8 to pass. So, all right. I guess we'll just jump into it. So, the votes will be as follows. Echo.
No. Against.
Kyle.
Neutral.
Tom.
Sustain.
Oh, okay. Wait, is that a neutral or it's yes, no, and neutral are the options?
count as a neutral.
Count as neutral. Okay. Is she here? No. So we're gonna skip. Mega.
Neutral.
Yoshi is not here. Volp.
Against.
Rumple. Doltz.
Against.
Vicky's not here. Sissy.
Against.
AP.
Neutral.
Chief is a no. Skelly
Against.
and Ungens.
Against.
I'm sorry, Miss Skelly. What'd you say? Oh, thanks, Rumble.
All right, and when you guys with the minutes open, because I don't have that open. Because anyway, what is the tally there? I mean, pretty resounding no, but
My brain worked today. I forgot Phil's.
7 against, 5 neutral, 0 for.
neutral. Yeah. Okay. Anything anyone wants to say specifically on their votes, or
I really want to vote Cosmin for because I thought he was pretty promising, but given that a verbal warning would equate to a level 1 warning under the new system, and that would essentially disqualify him from the moderator had the new system already been in place, I had to vote against on principle.
I just don't really. I mean, like, obviously, don't impersonate Ungens. Like, just don't. But like, I don't think that was not the main reason I voted neutral, because it's like a one-time thing. The main reason I voted neutral is because he's like standoffish at times. The thing with like McGuinn and sending the verbal warning from Frumple, because McGuinn was being mean. But yeah, I just think like some fine tuning in the communication department could work more in favor.
I would have previously voted neutral if this was held yesterday, going along with what Kyle said, but impersonating a staff member doesn't really seem like a quality I'd like to have among the staff.
I'm strongly inclined to agree. Yeah, I think there's a lot of promise with Cosmon. I think originally I was going to say my neutral vote was more of a not yet, but with impersonating Ungens, that's not good. That seemed to actually genuinely worry and scare people.
Yep.
Yep.
I didn't see anything that was strong enough to sway me to a 4. I saw a lot of evidence of Cosmon being a good person, a good player, and a wonderful member, but nothing that was so far as to scream staff at me.
I'm gonna agree with Phil
Maybe I
here.
could-
That's why I asked Cosmin like what else he's done, because personally, I didn't think he's like very visible. I mean, I know that's each staff member's had their own visibility in a way, and that's why I was kind of curious in like what he's done, because I'm not very familiar with him, and that's why I like asked him. And then so I was kind of neutral in the sense of like he seemed like kind of nice, but like I didn't really see anything that pushed me for. And then today, I don't care about the intent. While the intent may have been in a joking manner, I don't like how it was carried out in the sense of the formatting, like almost exactly formatting a warning, a DM message. I don't care about the intent. I care about the fact that it scared multiple members.
I do interact with Cosmin a lot since I do come on a lot while he's online, and I think he's pretty nice. And the Minecraft 252 evidence that he submitted with him helping with the wiki page showed to me that I think he does have the capability. I just couldn't really didn't think it would be appropriate to vote for him when he got that verbal warning today.
That's actually something I wanted to ask about was what are other people's thoughts of candidates submitting their own evidence for, in the sense of, I was having a discussion in Mumble last night about kind of that, and one thing that was brought up was, I know Frumple and I had this conversation with staff of submitting evidence on their own behalf. I'm personally fine with if like there's some
that's a better
accusation against.
suited for 5F.
Well, I mean in general.
Okay.
Skelly, would you say that you got the impression that Cosmon like wants to help out, but just probably hasn't figured out the best way to do it? Is that a good way to put it?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah, that's a better way to put it in words. Yeah.
I definitely have a positive impression of Cosmon from this. Obviously, the incident that happened earlier today is not really becoming of a mod, but I think that really what the problem was, I was never really on the Force side just because the evidence wasn't really that strong. So I think with more time and more examples of him being helpful and nice and stuff like that, I think there will be a better time later on down the road when he can more fittingly provide evidence for himself, and that would be more successful then.
Yeah, I'm inclined to agree. None of the evidence was particularly strong. I'm seeing a neutral vote as not an absolute no, but a not yet. Perhaps in some point in the future, but not now is not that time. And especially after the incident.
Yeah, I think Cosman has a really great grasp on the rules and like telling, like he knows what's happening. But I think like, you know, like I obviously had to work on this a bit, but like just like knowing what to say and when to say it is a very good tool to have.
We're not expecting people to know. We're not expecting people to know the ins and outs of being a staff member before they're on staff. That's unreasonable.
Yeah, and that's why I shut down that shit in his nomination channel, because that was bull.
Yeah, I'm also wanted to share because, well, I was mainly involved in that incident in a way. Also about the earlier thing about evidence, I also didn't see any evidence that would suggest before, and well, after basically sending that kind of fake DM to via Discord with a fake color coding, that really made a few people worried, including Minecraft 252, who later messaged me again. And yes, I've given him a verbal warning, basically based on Rule 3, throwing away I don't know how to phrase it, the kind of basically don't be a hack rule. Yes.
Yeah.
Seems like we're pretty much at consensus on this. Unless anyone wants to change their vote at all, I think that's pretty settled. Unless there's any other comments that anyone wants to make quickly. Yeah, that's my thought. I'm like, I think we're at consensus at this point. So okay.
Take it away, Mega.
Cool. So that is rejected. Final tally 057. Moving on to Mega and Frumple making some changes to warnings. 5A.
Well, yes, this is going to be an interesting topic. So yeah, there's text on the agenda for people who missed last GSM. We basically looked over the current warning system, decided it had a few flaws, and this proposal is the replacement. So essentially what we've done is we've taken the existing 30-day warnings and we've chopped them in half. So each warning is now 14 days. And in the new system, a level 2 warning is equivalent to the current single warning, and a level 4 warning is equivalent to the current double warning. And the reason why there's 7 tiers of punishment is so that everything roughly falls in line with where it was in the old system, including the indefinite ban, so that there's 3 months of punishment in total before you get indefinitely banned. So that's consistent. The main things we need to discuss as we haven't really reached a consensus, are what punishment goes at the 3rd warning tier, and also what additional punishment to introduce at the level 6, which we have some ideas about elsewhere in the agenda. And there's also a table on the agenda for where certain infringements, or how certain infringements would be dealt with. So I guess we'll jump right into it. There are, for level 3 warnings, there are a number of suggestions, including demoted to trustee, a 3-day temp ban, nothing except the additional time associated with the warning. And Imperial Blocks also submitted a rather complex proposal on what to do there. However, I'm going to come right out and say that I'm against Imperial Block's proposals simply because it's just too complicated.
Yeah, I think we should be adhering to the KISS principle. Keep it simple, stupid.
I agree.
Sorry if this is just brought up, but what of different lengths temp bans, like something longer than a week? Because I do think having a longer temp ban would be very beneficial.
Yeah,
We'll get to that. Not
sorry,
at this
later
level.
levels.
We'll get to that soon. Right now, we're just
I
focusing on
may have lost
level 3.
the plot here. In depth for warning level 3. Yes.
No.
No. Anyway.
I would say you would.
I think in a case like that, you can tell they clearly don't care. We probably shouldn't stop at a warning level 3. We should potentially extend that. Because I think, if they just don't care about the warning, they don't care about the warning system, they don't care about punishment, and they want to keep doing what they're doing, then I think that's probably way more severe than just what they were doing itself. What have like a period where if you get enough verbal warnings in one area, that's a full warning, so that way it does accumulate.
Yeah, the intention for the system is to give more room for warnings to accumulate.
More of a granular approach, right?
Yeah.
Question though, why?
Because we found that the way that Frumple was intended for us to use the current warning system was problematic because and we've also had a number of debates such as like, do we do a single or a double, and there's quite a gap in between them, so it's more to give us options. And it also, if we're quote unquote wrong with which punishment we decide to go with, well, it's less of an impact on the member. Yeah, that's understandable. 7 levels is more than 4. It will take some time to get used to and be fully familiar with the systems. So I'll do my best to communicate how it works. I'm getting Kitty to make a graphic once the system is decided on for the rules page. So to make it no, you go ahead. Yeah, I mean, yeah, we'll definitely.
Let's give you a warning.
I'm sure
Here,
we'll learn
you get a
things.
warning. You get a warning. Everybody gets a warning.
Yeah,
Well,
I'm sure.
Tom, you say that, but like, okay, anything that we would consider annoying enough that we need to issue a quote unquote verbal warning, we actually do want to document that kind of thing, because if that is documenting a pattern of behavior, that's something that we want to know about. And like, again, it's the only thing that happens at level 1 is that just means that you're knocked from being considered for mod for 6 months. So,
Yeah, the thing with verbal warnings is that they're not really written down anywhere. So you could be like, you could have a person who's gotten like 5 verbal warnings and no one would know because they're all from different staff members.
Right. Yeah. Like those should be written down. And so that's what the level 1 is intended to capture is relatively minor, annoying stuff that is like, this is something that you should have known better. And it's annoying. We're not going to take away any major privileges. Like, you can keep ranking up and everything. But we do want to make sure that you're aware that this is something that you can't be doing.
I do think 6 months seems a bit severe to be barred from staff, particularly, say, for a new player who doesn't know all the ropes yet.
Would this 6 months be for every warning, like whether it be the highest tier to the lowest tier?
The rule right now
I think
is
it's just from the latest.
As I say, the rule right now is you have to have had a clean record for 6 months as of the GSM that you would get promoted in order to be considered.
So not even a verbal warning will count for 6 months.
Yeah, everything.
Yeah, but
I'm not sure I like the idea of verbal warning.
I think a single warning should be more like 3 months, to be honest.
I mean,
I
I think even a verbal warning
others
should
think.
at least be 3 months. Yeah, like, because you can get a verbal warning for just being stupid.
I mean,
You got it.
Yeah, but 6 months. seems
a
a little
while.
severe for a singular verbal warning. I'd say 3 months.
Yeah, I
I think
personally
there
had
should be
concerns
some
surrounding this as well.
delay,
I was
but
thinking reducing it or shifting it to another warning tier, but that might get complicated. So yes, 3 months I would support.
I would say I would be okay reducing that to 3. And then just that way keeps the policy simple of you have to have had a clean record for 3 months.
I was not under the impression that we were going to try to retroactively turn verbal warnings into a level 1 warning after this.
I was also not under that impression either. I don't recall ever being told that.
yeah, I don't remember ever knowing about that.
I think it might be a bit more complicated than it's worth.
I'm willing to just keep the slate clean.
Especially
once.
since some staff members may have a different definition of what constitutes a verbal warning than other ones.
I think that happens a lot of the time, but that's not going to catch everything. And yeah.
I mean, there certainly have been some. I haven't.
Yeah, absolutely, but I think we've gotten a lot
any, but
about saying that sort
And
of thing.
also, I think verbal warnings in themselves can vary in how strongly you intend to sort of discipline the person.
Mm,
yeah.
kind of. I mean, I would
Yeah,
say
the
you have a
varying
warning.
definitions.
I'm willing to give benefit
to
of the
the
doubt,
more-
to be honest. Clean slate from now and only now. Yeah.
I think
I'd say
it's
that,
just
yeah.
Wait, so would this be just for verbal warnings or for every warning?
Thing
No,
that's been
verbal.
recorded
Just
transfers,
verbal
but this is for
warnings.
verbals. Because verbals, there's no like form.
You'll
that
see on the
they
new
have to
warnings
be recorded.
sheet, I have already ported over active warnings.
Honestly, I would. No, I think give amnesty to people that currently have warnings, but I would keep those that are on current warning system on the current warning system until they're.
I know, Tom. What basically, if you are on one warning on the current system, you're moving over to level 2 on the new one because that's equivalent. So basically, because we don't want to maintain 2 systems.
No, I'm just saying, like, if person's got one warning on, is it an exact equivalent, or is it only it's a certain difference?
One warning. Yeah.
Because I mean, if I get a warning in the old system and then I'm getting moved to this new system and there's changes, then I feel kind of gypped because I'm expecting to get off the warning at this time, and now there's.
So the expiry date will stay the same.
Okay.
But the only
Rip and
difference is
replace.
just how it's recorded. So. And actually how it's calculated, because now we're saying it's specifically 28 days.
Okay.
All right.
Let's do the conversation back. I know we went away from the level 1. I know we were discussing about duration.
Level 3.
Level 3. So
back to level 3 then. Okay.
I do not support no punishment. If you're going to have a warning level with no punishment, why even have it? in my opinion. So I think there should. I don't oppose a temp ban.
Yeah, I'm okay with that.
I'm
I
fine
think-
with
Yeah,
that.
A
I
3-day
can
ban gives.
accommodate it.
Yeah,
I'm more curious on the effectiveness of a short temp ban. Because, for example, if like they're not as active in Minecraft, but they are in Discord, we're only temp banning them from the server itself. I don't think that would do much effectiveness.
Why are we only temp banning them from the server itself?
Yeah, I thought temp bans automatically applied to the Discord as well.
You just have to do them.
Yes,
Yeah,
temp
they
bans
should
will
apply
apply
to
to Discord and in game.
So at
Yeah.
level 3 they would be kicked from the server, but then at level 4 they wouldn't.
No, 3 or above. Like as soon as you get a 3 or above, you're kicked from Discord for a few days, and then you can come back.
That's what I'm questioning. Yeah. Hmm.
That's complicated.
What
Trying to fix
should we badmouth people who are warned for making crude jokes or something?
Eye for an eye.
Yes.
Do the crime, do the time.
That's true.
Just keep the system generic.
I know, even though it is a bit of a blunt tool, I would rather keep it simple. And also, it's pretty encompassing of if we say that you're kicked off for 3 days, which if that happens on the weekend, you're kicked off for the rest of the weekend. And like, yeah, like we certainly don't want to get there, but hopefully that would be, and it's like those are things that it's a 3-day temp ban that's automatically like your access is restored at your original rank once you come back. So yeah, I think 3 feels about right because it's something that again, it's like if if you're running around and being dumb on a Friday and you get your 3rd warning, then you're off for the weekend. And that's a long enough interval, I feel like.
Yeah, a one day is so short that it's just a waste of the staff's time to do because there's
question. We're discussing like temp bans for level 3.
Yeah.
Yes.
3 and above.
I would not be fond of level 3 because isn't that akin to a double warning under our current system?
It's less
No,
than
double
that.
warning's level 4.
I don't think we should be I think we should be trying to preserve at least that tier system to a degree, but I wouldn't
We
be
are,
fond-
but this is so then. But
What?
the question is, what's the punishment that gets doled out at the intermediary between a single warning and a double warning under the current system?
Hmm.
So you certainly can't rank up, but what else? It's not more severe than level 4 because it's temporary. It's a temp ban for 3 days, by definition, is a temporary affair that automatically clears itself.
With no long-term rank. With no long-term, like, where you lose your rank and whatnot.
And you don't have to submit
Not
a
at level 3.
reflection letter. That's the big thing.
So that would basically be akin to a double warning then.
Level 4 means current double warning.
Yeah.
Again,
So
try
right
to
now-
try to get your get your head into the space of the difference between the levels and the single double warning, because that's
Okay.
that's why we're doing this whole
Yeah,
split.
levels,
that is
levels
going to
means
get-
new system.
It is going to probably get a bit confusing because again, you get like, okay, well, three's a ban, 4 isn't, unless we also do a ban like that 3-day ban on 4.
Yeah.
The punishment stack.
And they obviously can't rank up or be nominated for mod.
What if we kind of reverse it a little bit? So right now, double warning, you get demoted to member, and you have to write a reflection letter to get promoted back to wherever you came from after 2 months, right?
Yep.
I'm sure
Okay.
once this is written out and like it's all, MBS makes it really nice little graphic. It'll be
So
easy enough for
what-
dum-dums like myself to understand.
What if 3 gets you demoted to member before you're required to do the reflection?
I would agree.
Mhm.
Imperial, I don't think two reflection levels are going to help there because double reflection letters I don't think makes sense.
I
No,
think
we-
what
that
Imperial's
only happened once.
I think what Imperial's saying is that he wants it to be reversed, so the demotion happened and reflection letter would be at level 3, and then level 4 would put the 3-day ban on top of the demotion.
I
That
don't
makes
think that
sense
No.
to an extent.
No, I don't. like
lowers
that.
the ceiling for which you have to send in a reflection letter and makes it inconsistent with the old
So
system.
I think there's a few things that we're trying to go for. Number one is we want to have severe enough things in place so that it is a deterrent, hopefully, against people from ascending to the higher levels. So, and this is not in any particular priority, but one thing that we need to consider is the deterrence aspect. Number 2 is simplicity of administration for us, and number 3 is simplicity of understanding for everybody else. If we're going with level 3 is a 3-day temp ban. Remember, that is a thing that in Minecraft, at least, it is set once and it automatically expires. And if you stay at level 3, you keep your rank. So that one is a lot simpler of an administration for us. And it would mean that we would allow mods to issue temp bans up to that limit. So you wouldn't need to get an admin involved.
Yeah, and I don't agree with the
right now-
criticisms being brought up. Oh, you
Yeah, okay,
finished, Chief.
yeah,
Right.
I'm gonna just drop the thing I was gonna say. That does make sense. It is a lot less of a punishment. Like it does seem scary on paper, but long term, losing that rank for months, and it's a very public thing as well.
And
Like
having
people
to
will know
submit a
that.
reflection letter to the admins, that's
Yeah.
tougher than
That's
people think.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a thing you have to do. So, yeah.
Yeah.
It's
I think there's also probably a social element because people will notice, say, "Hey, why'd you lose your rank?" and all that. People ask that for months.
Right. Whereas again, a 3-day temp ban, you're only going to notice if you do /scene on that person during the temp ban. So, and it is a forced long break or a short break. Yeah, but I mean, in game, if you're looking in game, the only way that you would know is if you see that, and then once that's expired, any mention of that is only on our records and in Discord. So, I think 3 days, like, it seems scary, but I also want to have it there so that, I don't want people to get there. So, yeah. Yeah. So to answer the question from London of what happens if a staff issues multiple warnings at once. So again, I need you all to try to separate when we say multiple warnings in the old system, that is completely separate from with the new system, we're saying we are issuing a level whatever warning, and the level is a number from 1 to 7. That's it. Your player level is the sum of all of the levels of all your active warnings. So if you do a bunch of things that get issued that are all like little things all at once, then that would probably put you at level 3, which would mean that you're temporarily banned for 3 days, and then you can't rank up until your warning's clear. So that's how that works. If you're talking about what would be considered a triple warning in the old system, then that would be a level 6. And those are going to be extremely rare, just like a triple warning is today. So
also the extreme warnings, we do talk it out with staff, so it's not like one person issuing it, it's all the staff agreeing on it.
Right. Yeah, high tech, the punishments do stack. They don't repeat. So if you get the 3-day temp ban at level 3, and then you get another single or another level 1, you will then go to level 4 as your player. You will not get another 3-day temp ban. You will instead be just immediately demoted down to member. So
copying the table into the minutes real quick.
I think,
I think 3-day temp ban and have it stack with higher temp bans.
I think that's fine.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just to check, you guys are going to extend the moderator temp ban ability to 72 hours for this, right?
Yes, we would do so. Yep. So, and Skelly, that also gives the benefit of if you, as a mod, need to ban a guest, for example, then and like admins are all busy or whatever, that gives us a little bit more time to get to you. So,
I was checking mostly for MRT News Channel.
yes, but yep. To answer Obi's question, do verbal warnings? Yes. What is currently called a verbal warning will become a level 1 warning, and will prevent you from becoming a mod for 3 months.
Okay, so we did agree on 3. That's what I was about to clarify.
Yeah, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we just said 3. Yep.
Yeah, I was
Okay.
just copying the table over into the minutes.
So that's levels 1 through 4 set. Yeah. Yep.
There.
Bit 2 is leaning towards offline reflection.
Yeah. So basically, you're temp banned until the end of the warning timer, which is when you'd be able to submit your reflection letter. The maths around that
Quiz,
can
you're
get a
in-
bit complicated, but I have included a helpful utility on the new warning spreadsheet, which means that if a staff member ever has to issue one of these, it'll tell them how many days to issue it for.
Clean slate, OB. All the variables are clean slated, like the old ones.
They yeah, like we have a bunch of programmers between us. We can figure out a way to figure out what that date is.
I've already done that, so
Yeah.
yeah.
Um,
But any thoughts on the punishment itself? I think it fits quite well here.
I do really like the offline reflection, and at the very least, it I think would bring home the idea that you're at level 6. There's only one level above you, and that's the indefinite ban. So
I still personally think that the offline reflection is a bit excessive, and 1 month might be better because then the 1 extra month to be on Minecraft still. But actually, I think I just said a bunch of words without clarifying, so I guess I'll rephrase it. I think 1 month is better for level 6 because being away from the community for 2 months might still be a bit much.
keep in mind level 6. If you're at level 6, is 3 months. Yes.
Yes. If you get it all at once, it's 84 days. And the punishment isn't always going to be that long. That's only if you do something so bad that you get issued a level 6 straight away. If you're a month away from having to submit a reflection letter and then you get another one, you have to serve that month plus the extra 2 weeks of the warning. So yeah, so that if it scales, the punishment, how long you're temp banned for scales with how quickly you reoffend.
So if we... Oh no, go ahead, Fumple. That's basically an end-of ban with less time for an appeal.
Yeah. I mean, they're on thin ice because they're at member. They come back, they're able to submit, but if they're not going to for whatever reason, they're at member. And, you know,
just open fire at that stage.
It's not really...
If they open fire or they do something ridiculous, then straight to death. Oh.
I mean, the idea is that they'll be gone for long enough that hopefully they'll reflect from their extended period off the server. And if they don't, well, and they do something, then it's easy enough to
I mean, at that point, if you're forcing a reflection, you're basically just doing an indefinite ban, but a shorter time scale, as Skelly said.
Yeah, I want to keep it distinct from an actual indefinite ban.
I've got another
Well-
potential edge case. When somebody is, indefinitely banned, they come back, they submit a reflection letter. We would place them at tier 6, yes, but without the warnings, the ban. I mean, because it doesn't make sense for me just to get they get re-allowed back on the server and get hit by a 2 month
How
ban.
ban appeals are typically handled is they appeal, we accept it, and then we let them sit at member for about a month usually,
Okay.
and
So
they're on thin ice.
So this would
one
remain
event can be banned.
completely separate from the
Yeah.
warning system.
Ban
I'd
appeals
say
are handled
basic-
separately.
I'd say, yeah,
So-
basically a successful ban appeal would probably put you in at level 6 on your player level, but we would hold kind of 6 with a special case of you're there, but if you don't reoffend in 30 days, you're automatically restored back to 0.
I see.
So,
And this is probably, I'm going to assume I know the answer here, and that would be no. We aren't going to do any review of current bans and just go, okay, well, we could set this as a level 6 or something.
any
already did.
ones are already in process that need that. I mean, the admins kind of handle that. So,
I mean, in regards to indefinite bans.
if they're
Okay, I figured. Okay,
Yeah,
I'm
I mean,
gonna go get my coffee now, so I will be.
the very few bans that are permanent, which is indefinite, but that we have said we're not accepting appeals. I mean, the overwhelming majority of those bans are indefinite. There's a very few number of permanent, which you can probably name most of them.
I meant converting, not freaking indefinite
any
to
existing
level 6
indefinite.
warnings.
No, any existing indefinite ban is converted to level 7.
which is indefinite ban. Yeah, the system for handling bans sort of supersedes the warning system.
Yeah, it's a special process because the admins have it.
Special little cookie.
Can we? I was gonna say, can we? If you scroll down into the bottom of my comment, I just want to clarify. It's waterfall expiration for player levels, right? Or waterfall expiration served consecutively. So I've done a bit of a diagram.
Yeah, so you basically, you always serve. If you get a level 2 warning, for example, you'll always serve 28 days,
right,
no matter when they're issued.
And you immediately, and you immediately go up to the highest level, and everything clears at once. Okay.
Yeah,
Just wanted to make sure that was clear.
it'll function the same as the old system.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So, I mean that is. I just wanted to clarify that in the context of level 6, of that if you're there, you're held. I mean, so you're at level 6. Your warnings expire. I'm just trying to think through. So, if we're doing this offline reflection deal, and we're doing this kind of waterfall expiration thing, basically it's impossible. It would once you're able to submit a reflections letter, like when your warnings clear, so to speak, or when they would
When the
normally
timer
clear.
clears, yes, the temp ban lasts until the timer elapses and you can submit a reflection letter.
Right. So I guess that then we're saying that, or I guess as with the current system, then, Kitty, yes. So then that means that once you're at or above level 4, that you stay at that level until your reflection letter is approved, even after that timer. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, and if your time is expired but you're waiting for a reflection letter and then you get pushed up to offline reflection, then the offline reflection will just last 2 weeks.
Yeah. Or 4, depending on what.
Yeah, depending on how much warning time you have left, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, but okay, I just wanted to make sure that edge case, because that was all right. So I mean, okay, in that instance, I really like the idea of the offline reflection at level 6. So
Yeah.
I suppose if it's that consensus, then I'll go with that. Or we'll go with that, I mean.
Well, 3 was kind of road stop too. I mean, they either going to continue their charade through emails or whatnot, like some players have, and then just move on to 4 and get perm banned, or they were going to stop and take the week to chill and then basically come back to the server as level 2. It was kind of a, all right, here's your choice. You keep this up or you're going to stop. And
I mean, in my experience, the 1 week temp ban hasn't been very effective. Most people who have get to that stage soon find themselves being indefinitely banned.
Mm-hmm.
there's been times where people got the 1 week and then they.
I'm sure there's been occasions where it has worked, but in my experience, it's been not very effective. I mean, yeah, I'm not too worried about the jump between 5 and 6. My concern's more the jump between 4 and 5. Like, what would make sense there? And considering we're doing a 3-day temp ban at level 3, I think upping the level 5 punishment to a 2-week temp ban makes sense.
I was trying to figure out what would be different in 2 weeks that 1 week can't serve.
You've already had
I would say
had
that's
a 3-day break. So
well, that's the comparison too. If I go, so we're talking about 5. So if we jump straight to 5, are we serving that 3-day temp ban as well, in addition to, or the same? So I was a little unclear with that.
I mean, just
I think the offline reflection would replace the other ones.
Yeah, just make it 3 months.
Because the offline reflection one is going to be the longest out of all of them. Like
actually,
the minimum.
Do we want to reconsider stacking the 3-day temp ban with level 5 if we change level 5 to 2 weeks?
Yeah, I would say if we do level 5 as 2 weeks and they don't stack, that makes a ton of sense. Like if the 2 weeks replaces, like if you jump straight to level 5. And again, I want to emphasize, anything above level 4 is going to be very rare. So it's those are going to be reserved. If you're jumping from 0 to 5, that's going to be reserved for pretty significant rule violations. The most likely case it's going to happen, right? Or multiple things being charged at once. The most likely thing that would happen with those higher levels is if you start at low levels and slowly, kind of get brought higher based on a bunch of little things that happen over a period of time.
Yeah, I mean, if we keep stacking, because we've said the offline reflection doesn't stack, that just overrides anything previous. So I think that makes sense to say that for all variants, a temp ban.
Yeah, bans are the only thing that, I mean, level 4 we would, well, yeah, level 4 is going to be a bit tricky to word because, yeah, levels 5 and 6 you can pretty clearly say if you get to this, yeah.
The warning timers stack, the temp bans do not. I think that's a good system there.
But I think 2 weeks is fine because that way all of the warnings, all the durations except for level 3 are consistent of 2-week duration.
Going once.
That sounds fine.
Going once, going twice.
Yeah, I agree.
And
so as approved, there are now 7 warning levels. Any existing warnings will be converted to the new system. Level 1, the sanction is that you're ineligible to be considered for mod for 3 months. Level 2 means that you are not able to request any rank ups until all your warnings expire. That means any pending trustee or city rank things are canceled. Level 3 is a 3-day temp ban. Level 4 is demotion to member plus reflection letter. Warnings at level 4 and above do not clear until the reflection letter is accepted by the admins. Level 5 is a 2-week temp ban. Level 6 is offline reflection, so temporarily banned until you are eligible to submit a reflection letter, regardless of whether or not you choose to do so. Right when that expires, you can come back. Level 7 is an indefinite ban.
Are we still on warnings?
I'm just reviewing it. We just finished.
Oh, thank God.
Yeah, and I'd encourage staff members in their own time to look at the new warning spreadsheet and work with the script after the GSM and familiarize yourself. There's instructions on how to use it in the various notes I've attached in the first row.
Wait, question.
And
You said trustee is cancels. I mean, the trustee endorsements that they might have, let's say they had trustee endorsements at the time, are those automatically like expired?
What do we do currently?
I think that it just counts as like a veto. Yeah.
Because we had a timer of when trustee stuff expired.
Yeah, those expire after 6 months. So that's the case of.
Okay. So no impact on those.
It basically counts as a veto that instead of expiring in 30 days expires when your warnings do, when you go back to level 0.
Right.
Not sure. Level 6 is offline reflection, so that means that you are temporarily banned until whatever date you are eligible to submit a reflection letter. You will still be held at level 6 until that reflection letter is accepted by the admins. But correct, it's when that time, it's when that service timer expires and when you are eligible to submit the reflection letter. Okay. Media teams, feel free to reach out to us afterwards. Stacey's going to be doing the Q&A this time, so you can bug him with additional questions afterwards.
Nice.
All right. I think that settles it. That's approved. Thank you, Mecca, for putting this together. I think I think we made some good decisions there.
I'm looking forward to the day I'll get to use it incorrectly.
All right. So 5B, this one's mine. This is hopefully just a quick one. Although again, edge cases, and may I remind you, I have to deal with security at a company that we have to deal with healthcare related data. So we have very tight security rules. So I'm paranoid about security and people breaking things. So just because of my thing. So basically, there were a few people a little while back who have asked for some temporary bans. I just want to make this a formal policy that is allowed for everybody. And essentially, the only difference is here. So temporary bans, I'm saying, are up to 6 months. That is, and I do want to put the hard limit on that because that's the maximum time that we usually allow for asset transfer holds, as well as anything beyond that. And it's really an indefinite ban with a much easier appeal because you just say, hey, can I have this removed? But anyway, if you want to have us set a timer, we'll do it for up to 6 months. Otherwise, you can ask for it to be set and removed whenever you need. Just don't be excessive about it. They don't count against you in terms of moderator candidacy, but we will record them for public viewing. Just because if there's a pattern of that, that's something that we don't, that I wouldn't consider a good thing for someone to have. And I think that, the only other difference is how would this interact with the new warning system. But in terms of the general principle, I think it's pretty self-explanatory.
I mean, in terms of it's happened many, many times before in the past. If a player's lost access to their accounts, one of the first things they do is email us admins to have their account banned. So
that's different.
Yeah, that would not count against the player at all.
No. That is a ban for security precaution. This is if you are asking us, if it's finals or IB exam season or whatever your local equivalent is, or for those who don't do IB, your SAT or ACT or again local equivalent. It's if some people have asked us, especially around those times of year, to put a ban in place on the account just as a kind of protecting me from myself type thing of if you have access to your account, you just want to have an additional enforcement mechanism in there to make sure that you're focusing on your IRL stuff. So I want to make sure that is something that we do officially allow, and I just want to clarify how that interacts with the rest of everything else. Crumple, he's Skelly. He's not. He's still vanished. Now
He joined Discord voice chat.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, plus the Frimple TV. If I get yelled at for speaking in staff, Yoshi gets to get yelled at for joining the game.
Right.
Fine. Anyway, okay. So we'll get to the question of how does this interact with warning system aside. Does the concept of the voluntary ban stuff, does that make sense?
Yeah.
I think we would just make a new tab that's just because on the member list we've got the warnings and the bans list. So basically we would just, I think, make a new tab that's just hey, just as a note, this is a voluntary one. I mean, again, it's a relatively simple log entry, so to speak.
Yeah, I'm fine with it.
Yep.
Okay. So on to the question of how does this work with warnings? So even though I believe that the chances of this happening are incredibly rare, there is the question of if someone has a warning and then requests the voluntary ban, specifically, with the intent of being off of the server for just long enough to mean that if they screw up again, that they're not put back at a higher warning tier. So
I'm just gonna say I don't think that's a bad thing for them to do. I think if they use that period for self reflection, like as their own offline reflection, that's not a bad thing. And even if they know that maybe if I will screw up in this sort of situation, and if I give myself time, perhaps I won't. Then that might not be a bad thing.
Well, Picular has a point, but also I'm going to say if we're using a ban as a punishment, even at the level 3 level, then how is it that a ban stops being a punishment and starts becoming a way to evade the punishment if it's requested?
because a voluntary ban, you can ask for it to be removed at any time.
Well, if it's
and Skelly, the main thing too is like at the higher levels, you're generally going to be serving the warnings for a while. So I'm thinking, say, if you're dealing with like a level 1 type thing, right? At day and the classic one that I'm thinking of is you're building stuff, you forget to file the paperwork for it. So 4K waivers, for example. Day 0, you get the verbal or the level 1 warning, whatever. And again, the chance of this actually happening are pretty small. I'm just thinking through the, how can I break this type thing. So if you immediately ask for a 2-week temp ban, and then your temp ban expires after your warning does, so you come back and now you're back at level 0 again. So you can go ahead and, if you again start building more rail lines, then you'll be back at level 1 instead of at level 2 where you should be, had you done it immediately.
Well, if someone does level 1 and then it expires, and then they do the same thing again, I don't see how them getting a voluntary ban will prevent the staff member from issuing a level 2 since it's a repeat behavior. Just because the level 1 isn't technically in effect anymore doesn't necessarily mean that you can't skip to level 2 since this is a repeat occurrence.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, if
reflecting offline.
Sure.
I was actually going to back that up from Paul because I was going to say, what's to say that they just not log onto the server for that extended period of time anyway, without requesting a ban? It's the same. Right. That's my point. Is like it's a self precaution. I think it's kind of commendable for that person to say that for a temp ban.
and if we do have a reason to suspect that they are trying to use these bans, like even I don't really think it's even really possible, but if they somehow find a way to do it in a way that benefits them and like a way to avoid warnings, we could probably take that into consideration and just go, okay, well, you're not being genuine about this. You're not using like the spirit of self-reflection. You're just using this so people don't look at you while you're warned.
I mean, you could just not connect.
Yeah, that too.
Yeah. I mean, my only real thing I can say that hasn't been said is just the administration of it. If we did anything else other than just keep it separate, would be an absolute headache.
Yeah, okay.
Option 1.
Cool.
Yeah, Gauze has a question.
Simple. Yeah, I mean.
Yeah, we kind of agree.
Yeah, someone just said that, I think. So. Okay, so it sounds like. Okay, cool. So 5B sounds like approved option 1. So voluntary bans are a thing that's completely separate from everything else and available. Just if you need one, email the admins and we'll get you taken care of. do not ping admins in request to staff, please. It's like, unless you're dealing with an issue of like my account got hacked and you need that put in place, like then just, ask a staff member there and we'll take care of it. But yeah. All right. I gotta step off for a hot second and grab food. Kyle, you're on for 5C. Frumple, if you don't mind refereeing the next little bit.
Sure. So there seemed to be a little bit of confusion on what it actually does. In no way does this discourage people from having franchises in their town. The only thing that this would do is essentially say, if you have franchises in your town, those are not going to contribute to the scale component of any rank review, which basically means you have to build the buildings that are going to be considered when staff are asking the question, how big is your city? So if your city is big because of buildings that other people built, then that's a problem, right? And you wouldn't be able to get the rank for that. So essentially, what it's saying is that your city should be able to fully satisfy the scale component solely based off of the buildings that you build. That's it.
Okay. Question. So I assume a case of let's say you build the like I do with all stuff in Wanted as well. I build the exterior, somebody else builds the interior. That would still count as a build. Shit.
Kitty's asking an important question.
Yeah.
If someone else builds a custom franchise in your town, would that count?
I'm gonna just shift
in
things
no-
even grayer for a second. Sorry, go ahead, Kyle.
Oh, I was just going to say, people sometimes interpret this as a punishment for having franchises. In no way is that. Franchises often look great in spaces with malls and stuff like that. If you need it to fill up ambience or to fill up empty space in your town, that's totally fine. But like, if you didn't build it and your city wouldn't get it based on the builds that you made, then like, there's a problem there, right?
Okay. I mean, I'm just going to throw another hypothetical. Well, not really hypothetical because I've done it, but there are also cases of where people they'll get a franchise, but then they'll customize it a bit. Like again, I've done this with Isola. I will ask me to furnish something. I will then go in once I've finished and then touch it up a bit. Thus, I'll move things around. I'll add things to it. I'll remove things. I'll tweak it a bit. Then that is a further grey area. Is that considered my work or
we'll
not my
take
work?
that into account case by case as we're reviewing the town, and we have core protects so we can see like what people have done.
Yeah, but is yeah, I think people. I'd just be worried about it not being seen because they go, okay, well, this is a franchise. Just okay, they didn't build this, even though if I've done like half the work.
If you want to, you can make it clear in your notes that you make in your submission that hey, I put effort into the franchises here. Please evaluate it.
Challenge you. This isn't about community towns. This is about like towns themselves. Community towns are different.
Community towns are a different beast. I don't think they actually rank up the same way other towns do.
Well, they go through staff approval.
Because there was a big reason that I wrote this proposal was Prismarine, where Pretzel owns all of the buildings that he did not build. So that's they're copy pasted or someone else built them, but he owns the design for it, but he didn't build it, right? So the word "own" is very ambiguous in that sense.
Holy shit, an ugly name. Ugly.
I'm wondering because Frumple said that we already don't really consider franchises, and that was never the intention. So I'm wondering, what is this rule change actually changing?
It's a clarification.
So formalizing it, yeah.
If we're going to go by that, which is the town in the northwest where all names are failing me. Town in the northwest has loads of car selling places. It'll come back to me. Lanark. Lanark. Yes.
Iraq with Lanark?
He built those himself, though. Like, isn't that his franchise?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, he prided himself on not using World Edit, and he built them himself.
Yeah, so that's the sort of thing similar to JTrain's arguments, I think.
I mean, the difference there is whether they world edit it though, because Lanark was by hand. He put the effort in.
I agree. And also just like if your town scale requirement rests on an ambiguous thing like whether or not a franchise I built is copy and pasted, blah blah blah, maybe just build a little more than is asked.
And tell us what you built.
Don't hinge your entire rank promotion on something that is super ambiguous like that. Like all of the hypotheticals can be answered with just don't do that.
basically, if your name appears on it in Core Protect, then it counts.
I also think that the reaction to this proposal with like the intense misunderstanding serves as a lesson. Like, read the actual proposal, people. Like, I hope I made it. I'm reading it now. I made it pretty clear that I wasn't trying to deficit anyone for having franchises in their town. It's only scale. So
I mean, to be clear, it's nothing new. Kyle's
It'll
putting
still
something that
contribute
most
to
staff have
ambience
done.
and infrastructure and everything.
Staff have already kind of done this for a while. Kyle's mainly just writing it down.
I do have a question though. Which wording are we using? Like we just yeah.
I put the second one as an alternate option. My personal opinion, and one that I continue to do, is the first one. But if people feel more comfortable with the second one, I don't really care. Oh yeah. Done.
I do. Okay, so also Mega, using the whole thing of if your name appears in Core Protect, what are people who have?
Well, I mean, yeah, if there's world edit used to help build it.
No, I mean I'm just saying
think
like the town's so old that not everything has Core Protect on it.
We'll just have. It's up to people to explain in their submissions then.
Yeah. I'm just curious why everybody thinks franchises are so tight to town promotions, because I don't really think that needs to be the case here.
I mean, yeah, I don't look at them when I'm considering build quality.
Right. And I think a lot of people
reasons.
are really jumping to there's this, I guess, misconception to members that they think that they need franchises for town rank.
I mean, there's been times I've been
Oparia
reviewing.
has one, and it wasn't even supposed to be a franchise. So, like, franchises are not essential.
And yeah, like there's been times I've been reviewing towns and like I've looked at a build and I said, oh, this is better than some of the other stuff. I've been saying, oh, it's a franchise. Can't count that. So nothing's changing. We're just clarifying.
I don't think we would go that detailed, Cosmin.
And if you have special cases that you're worried about, then when you submit, it's up to you to tell us, and so that we know and we can take it into account fairly.
Yeah, I was like, I'll still build. I don't care about I don't think it will impact franchise market or whatever. I think people will still get franchises. I think we clarified this initially.
Yeah, I mean, like, if people were getting franchises for the purpose of city ranks, then good, harm the market. Like, that's not the point.
Yeah, franchises do not detract from what's already there. It's not gonna detract at all.
Okay, there's the question of why we need to write it down.
Yeah,
Yeah, it helps. It helps Cosmin for new staff because like sometimes whenever there are other staff around, pulling up the rules and procedures are a good kind of guiding line when you're kind of confused about stuff. Especially it helps new
but
staff or even current staff.
but Obi, why does it matter if it's a significant proportion? Like, um, you franchises weren't built by you. The main purpose is effort, and whether or not franchises are a significant portion of your town, you didn't put effort into those buildings. So
Well, we're just going to count the builds that are not franchises, and if we come up short, then we come up short, and you'll get denied.
And yeah, there's definitely been a case of just people they say, "Oh, I like this proposal," "Oh, I hate this proposal," and they just haven't read the full thing.
So which wording are we okay with? Which one is
Yeah.
that? The amendment or the original one? Because I know the bottom one has the one that Volpe did.
yeah, because like primarily that's vague, and also I just don't understand why people need to have franchises in their town to get the scale component. Just build more. Like,
What do you guys think about Kitty's phrasing that he suggested?
I think that's pretty.
that's simple. It's the same thing.
Yeah.
I'd be okay with approving that.
Yeah, honestly, I actually like that one more. It's just less words, but
Explicit,
means
clear.
the same thing.
All right.
So kitties.
Yep. Finally, democracy.
The plebs
Democracy
think they're
doesn't
gonna go-
exist.
Shh, it's an illusion.
like
5D off.
Take it away.
Ooh, this is proposal.
Oh Jesus!
And Aurora.
We've got 6D coming up still too, and I'm not looking forward to that one.
I think the head database is the most promising.
Yeah, I'm down for the
Plugin.
database.
The head database, they actually have a website that they upload all their heads onto. You can actually use command blocks to get them, but that for me that involves hopping off server, going on single player, getting a command block, putting that into the command block, saving that to a toolbar, and coming back on. Versus
And that's how heads have always been imported into the server through importing.
This
through
basically
toolbars.
allows you to get these head databases, everything from this database with a single command, and just some snooping around in the UI. It's much easier, I think. Yeah. Oh boy.
Yeah. So So my first thought is anything that requires a resource pack is going to be a problem because since we opened, we have held the standard that the only thing that you need to connect is a vanilla Minecraft client at the correct version. We have never required um, anyone to have a specific resource pack or anyone to have any mods installed in order to uh, connect. So as with Kitty and Echo and a couple other people saying in chat, if it's a required, if there's a resource pack that clients have to have downloaded, that's a deal breaker, and we can't, and I don't think we should have it. If it's a data pack, which is something that goes on the server side, that's fine because that's something that we just have to install on our end once. But if the experience for someone without the resource pack is a problem, or like if it breaks the vanilla experience, that's a deal breaker.
Yeah,
Mhm.
I'm with Chief on that.
Yeah, I would. I would actually be in favor of adding the one that doesn't require resource packs just as a test. Like, it might be laggy, sure, but hey, it looks pretty fun. And yeah, Trumbull is the point that people do join for these sorts of experiences. And I mean, I personally, even as a new guest, one of my favorite things to do was to ride U cars. And while I probably would have gone on the become a member anyways, regardless of that. For other guests, that could be a real convincer to stick around because hey, we've got custom stuff, we've got some fun stuff you can do. You can drive around and do all sorts of weird things that you wouldn't be able to do on any other server. So come give us a look, eh? What
Yeah,
would
I agree with that approach.
I would have to also ask, what would we consider a success or a failure state regarding this plugin? Like,
We'll have to see. Yeah. So the only vehicles plug-in left based on no resource pack and actually decent support is just vehicles.
It looks like vehicles has more than one. Like it has more than cars.
Mhm.
So would we utilize the other ones?
I honestly would hope so. It sounds pretty fun. Like, yeah, being able to zoom around your city instead of like with an elytra, an actual plane, that would be fun. I think people will enjoy it.
Are they enabled on a vehicle by vehicle basis?
Is there any way to access the vehicles page without getting a Spigot account?
I mean,
does anyone have like a screenshot of the page at least, or like
I could probably
screen
get
share?
one, but
let's go into full screen. So yeah, I started a stream of the page.
I think everybody. I didn't see anybody criticize it.
Absolutely.
Yes.
I've heard people say that, hey, they'd pay extra for access to it. Wink, wink. Raise some money for the server. You get my little special $2,500 bonus, whatever the hell. Yes.
Yes, yes, it is.
Oh, Chief's back.
Database, I think, is pretty compelling. I think the other ones, I mean, yeah, some of them possibly, depending on how that goes, and again, the failure state that I would want to really look for is what happens if you don't have the resource pack. So
This plugin doesn't have a resource. Oh, are we talking about a different one?
I mean, the one you're streaming definitely has a resource pack.
No, this one doesn't.
There's no way it can't have. Those are models. There's no way that you can't have
Armor
models.
stands.
those are armors. I see.
If
Okay,
they're all
all
armor
use,
stands, it's got to be excessively laggy.
yeah, but wouldn't with a bunch of entities, wouldn't that cause be an issue?
It could. We have to
that's
test
what we
that.
need to test.
We'll try it out.
In
I'm gonna be
fairness,
honest; those look really garish.
we do have a lot of armor stands anyway, but as Gods has been able to tell us as Gods has been able to prove in the past, armor stands don't have that big an impact on the server, especially if they won't have any collision or.
I think the thing that we're going to
They
run
can
into
s-
though is if this thing is abusing them by creating and destroying them every tick, that's where we're going to get the problem. Like if an armor stand by itself is just by itself and is stationary and isn't moving around a whole lot, that's not going to have that huge of a draw on performance. Whereas like if this thing is changing them every tick and recreating them every time, that's a problem.
Yeah, it could just be moving them. And there's also another potential edge case. That this is probably really thinking ahead, but I'm looking at the car one, and I can immediately see some people just going, yes, let's make a bunch of cars all around my town and just have like dozens in parking lots. Like somebody's going to do that, and I think we should maybe say no. I do like how
we'll
they
have
look.
to look at. There may be permissions. There may be permissions that can help us address that. We'll have to look at it and investigate. And see
I
if we
would
can get
say
a
just
working
add it
system.
to beta, but it is a paid plugin. So
How much is this one?
Rumple's willing to sink the
It's
cost.
$10.
$10.
Okay.
Say I recognize the desire to spend as little extra money as we can. I will also say in the like very grand scheme of things, $10 isn't too much. And also, y'all keep buying supporter gifts for each other, and you can like re-up your supporter if you want to just give additional into the pot. So
Remember,
we made
folks, there is a
profit
donation
last year.
goal. There is a donation goal.
There is a donation incentive, which if Volp actually, if we hit, it's going to be glorious.
Absolutely.
We were profitable
Chief and
last year.
Chief and I are planning something a bit special for that special bonus.
Is this more bribery?
Yes, absolutely. More bribery. Go on, donate to the server. Do it.
And
It's not corruption if you're upfront about it.
And we're saying it's legal because we are the Senate.
It's shocking me, goddammit.
We're trying.
It's
I think
worth
it's
trying.
worth trying. I'm not particularly optimistic about it working, but if Frumple wants to pay for the plugin with, and try it out, then I'm fine with it.
Yeah, I'm on the side with Echo here.
Yep.
Okay. Makes sense.
Point of order. Avanish actually submitted a comment for 5A, but it was a bit late. It was at 7:15 GMT. should we even bother with considering them during the GSM?
No, it's past the
No,
cutoff.
if he's late, then
If he's late, that's his
Sorry.
problem. It's past the cutoff. And also, we already decided it. So
yeah.
yeah, that's the same argument that we applied to when Modern
Modern.
tried to block an IAT. Yeah, well, Kitty, if you're emailing stuff in, we stop looking at our email when we start the meeting. So like,
Mhm.
if you want to send it in after the cutoff, you're risking us missing it, and we just
Yeah.
making a
We've
decision.
literally
Like,
already ruled, so
yeah.
I don't
Yeah,
think
I think by the
influence
time
our
he submitted
decision.
it, we
Sending
were
stuff in
actually
during
still
the
Cosmo.
GS.
Yeah, he sent it during the meeting. I think he sent it at 11:15 PST. So
Which is during the meeting.
yeah, 50 minutes after the meeting started. So we were
Yeah.
well underway.
Five E.
Yeah, I'm back. Yeah, yeah, I mean, as I said, I'm kind of going to be in and out the next little bit. But I should be here for this the next one. The next one at least should be relatively simple.
Oh dear.
5F is.
I
gonna be
have an
controversial,
interjection after you're done reading it. Just it's a
Oh,
suggestion.
but 5E requiring staff approval to regen or demolish entire towns.
Oh, okay, that's a 5. Sorry, I thought this was 5F, not 5E.
I agree with this.
Fine with me.
Yeah, this is such a niche case, and it is
Would
often such a cheap operation.
would this also cover? Well, I guess we don't really approve moving towns at all.
I think we should, honestly. Like,
No.
Let's not
No,
have
the
that
one private-
conversation this time, Volp.
oh, go sure, make it personal. Why go?
So yeah, Volp, you of all people. No, the thought is like, and we've
I'll submit
long
that
held the
again. I
precedent.
will submit that again. I will win it.
No,
Please don't.
no,
Not airlift again.
no. The
rockets this time.
The precedent that we've held since 2012 is that, I mean, unless you're going to do manual changes to the landscape to change things, that in terms of in terms of natural features and stuff, that your town like gets what you pick, and you're kind of stuck with that more or less. And so it's, I think, applying that same principle of like, I don't think we should be airlifting towns and all of that. Like, no, that shouldn't happen. Now, in this case of, say you have found a new spot and you decide that you're going to move your town over yourself, and then you want your old one deleted, I think that's where this comes into play. Yeah, not significant development.
Yeah, I'd
We
say
can.
so. If it's just a couple buildings, then we can remove that.
If
Yeah.
it's not significant, then yeah, no. But if it's significant but unincorporated, then yeah. Then how does that work?
Well, yeah, just need the significant. If it's a claim, if it's a valid claim, then the rule applies to it.
I think that's fine. Now, are there what sorts of conditions would we put on giving approval or denial? Like, is what do we have any guidance in here of how that would help us make that decision?
So staff by staff basis, case by case. Yeah, so like whenever they submit it for a region, they should like give their reasoning in their plan.
Jesus.
Who did that?
Okay, I think that makes sense. Why you want it reverted? Yeah. Yeah. I mean, if it, yeah. Okay. Yeah. But I think in principle, I think I'm happy to approve this.
Yeah, it seems fairly simple, and it is such a niche case that I probably shouldn't have started speaking after I took the ventilator. I approve.
All right. Something that's approved.
Yeah, I'm happy with that.
Volp? Oh, yeah. I think this would go near where we have the land scarring rule of you can't be doing land or just wherever we're talking about, making big changes to. Yeah, it would go under that if you want to regenerate. Yeah, and are we saying any staff member can do this, or is this only something that admins can do? Because I know that for a while it was like
only
could do
admins can
emergency,
run
but
the regen
run the
command.
command.
So
Okay.
yeah.
All right. Yeah, that's how I thought it was, but okay, cool. Admin approval required. Admin approval required for regens, but that is officially a thing. But it's going to be case by case, and those are going to be rare. So,
Is this all regens or just?
if you're regenning in it, well, admins are the only ones who can actually run the command. So, but like, if you're regenning an entire town, then we're going to want to have that documented.
This
Okay.
town's talking about Volpe, not just like simple like area regions, like for
Yeah, like
example,
it-
your
like-
line regions.
Yeah, like it, or if you like fuck up a cliff, like we can fix that just in game. So,
Yeah. Huh?
oh god,
What?
oh
We
yeah.
still
By
have
the way,
rollbacks.
well, we have, but that's only up to a point, and then 1.17.
Probably drop it when we
Oh,
change
yeah.
versions. Yeah.
What?
Yeah, and don't
It's gonna
forget
screw.
that it's going to go to negative 64.
New height
terrain.
limit! Yay!
And
I mean,
plus
regions
3
can. Yeah, regions only affect the area you select, so anything above
Right,
or below
but-
should be fine.
Okay, but sometimes I do expand vert to help, but anyway. All right. Hey, Volp, you ready?
What?
5F.
Oh,
Now you can Volt.
okay. I forgot. Wait.
Nice.
Okay. So probably you can go first if you want, but I was just going to say just a counter proposal to this. Why not a half and half measure? Says the email only feedback that you've requested that we switch to. Why not have that email only for you send in feedback, but we keep the discussion channels for people to discuss about the evidence. So that way we don't get things lost because they're on the document. Like the key evidence that people submit via email and the key to hopefully sort out comments are on there. But the data discussion is still contained.
How
Isn't
does
that the
this
current
fix the
system?
problem?
Isn't that the
That-
current system
I think
technically?
that just keeps
People
the worst
can-
parts of it.
As I say, people can submit. The only difference is that people can't submit evidence through the Discord channels.
It'll be
Yeah,
through email.
it does allow evidence to be kept in a easily. Sorry. I think it's how evidence getting lost, which
All that does is make it
email.
harder to submit
Yeah.
evidence, which is not what we want.
That's not the problem. They're just arguing about
think-
needless stuff, which, as a side effect, buries any evidence that does get submitted.
Yeah, I think this will fix things. Hopefully, via email, people will be more inclined to submit these things because they don't like. There are people that have been scared out of the channels because they've complained that they just get dogpiled on. Like they want to voice things, but they think that they're going to see a massive backlash. And this has been an issue since day one. Like again, I have had people tell me that they've wanted to post things, wanted to say things, but they have a fear that like people will come after them because they post something that's controversial or they say an opinion against like a candidate. Let's say if I voice something negative about Echo Hue, like saying, and I brought up something there, I would actually be worried that people would come after me because they like him.
Yeah, and this is why I think that an email system would be better because you wouldn't have to worry about people going for your throat.
Yeah. I am gonna just name the Crimson Fox. You've done a really good job of that. Like your first one was really rocky, but you've done pretty good since, and good on you. Good on you. Yeah. Which is
Well,
it is admittedly why I do like the idea of keeping those discussion channels because it does mean the problem is up front. It does mean the issue is very visible, but I'd rather have something be out like a wound be open out in the public than just festering the corner.
I do have a suggestion. Instead of email, why don't we go to a form? That
Yeah, how would a form work?
Well, you'd have one section to fill out where you put your evidence, and you'd have another one to fill out your comment, and you could make it so that it automatically cross-posts to Discord, and then people can do a tick reaction if they agree.
That's interesting.
So I have one question.
Yeah, there wouldn't be discussion, but we would cross-post them to Discord, and then. All right.
Yeah, the point is removing it from Discord.
Right.
Skelly had something to say.
Are we going to intervene in Minecraft chat or Discord general or the like to try to actively prevent people from discussing the candidates there?
I do.
I'm open to allowing that. Obviously, I mean, well, if things get out of hand, then I'll shut it down. But
I don't think we should be blocking discussion. And again, productive things can come out of it. And if that actually results in that same benefit of debate and, civil behavior, because it's not in like some organized form, it's just a casual two people are in a, playing Minecraft together, they start talking about a candidate. That could actually be really beneficial. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I've got some stuff to maybe bring up after the GSM that I've just been forwarded by somebody else, but I'll hold that until things have settled.
Kitty is currently typing in the meeting channel if you guys want to wait on that.
Come on out with it, boyo.
We're 2 hours
There's
into
a
this
little-
GSM.
There's a little problem that isn't 100% GSM related, but I'm vanished and I'm still visible on DynMap.
Oh, that happened to me actually a few days ago. I had to rehide myself.
Rejoin. It can screw
Okay.
up sometimes.
I say you should be able to manually hide and show yourself if you want. But anyway.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, it might be there's a bit of a dissenting opinion here, but I do think things have been improving since October. There's been hiccups, but I think it might just be because they've been more open about these sorts of things. I think overall there has been improvement, at least on with some individuals, and I think overall it's been reassuring. But this is just my take. I'd imagine so,
Yes,
London.
And we may still have channels for cross-posting email feedback as well. More code for me to take over the server.
Speaking of server, there's a special event going on after. Wink, wink.
Right.
I was told I could release it today.
Okay. 6. All right, we're done. Cool. Let's get into section 6, and I'm gonna have to probably drop for a while again. So apologies. Probably if you don't mind
Mini
taking over.
Road.
6A, give me road.
Yes, thank you.
Hi, gimme road.
Sure.
I mean, it looks close enough.
It's so
that-
cute and tiny. I love it.
Did you
It'll be
propose this for a
curvy.
meme or?
No, it is more than 500. Like, it's actually bigger distance to where I actually need approval.
Damn. Okay.
That's
Sure,
like, that's literally
approved.
why I have to do it.
Seems fine. Yeah. It's a straight line. What the heck is that weird pit it goes over?
It's a land scar by the looks of it.
Oh,
Sure, will be
boy.
fixed. If it's not, then
Well, if the road's going over it, it better be.
All I would say is, if you need help with the freeway junction, just feel free to reach out because those can get tricky. And yeah.
okay, it seems like that.
Oh,
Yeah,
well,
I
there
think
you
it's
go.
approved. I have a question.
Kyle Rhodes
Uh,
Cooper.
Why is this?
Hi there.
Oh, hi, Kyle. I should ask you. Why is this specifically an A road? Like, just out of curiosity, is it because this is like a main artery for the other B roads to branch off of?
That's already the A1. The A1 is already there.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm an idiot.
He's
Oh, no,
rerouting
don't worry.
A1. He's rerouting.
So
redesignating.
basically, yeah. So you see on that map where B185 is labeled, that is where the A1 goes into my slightly shitty Oparia road, where
Oh,
it's not at the standard I would like it to be.
I see.
So basically, A1 bypass plus a bunch of B roads connecting.
Okay, so I get you. So you're basically, you're rerouting the A road. I think that's actually quite good. I've seen that IRL towns do that, and it usually results in a really nice old road. So yeah, I'm excited for this. The route's pretty solid.
Yeah, I presume
too.
you have
Very
all
much
the
follow the land.
permissions and stuff for the other
So
towns.
for the B180, that I got permission from Not Short, which is not Aston, Cardinal Bay. Then Riskiness's town, I got his permission. I don't think his town has a name, but I got his permission over Discord. And then Elite Neon, I got his permission for the B190. Although I will note, Elite asked for the B190 to be more coastal after I drew the map, so just pretend like the B190 is more coastal.
Yeah, that's fine.
Oh, so you're moving the coast to the road plan. Got it.
Yeah. Oh, west.
Both. It's going to go to the west coast, and it's going to go straight line to east and west. It's going to be like one massive zigzag down the entire.
Sure.
6D, the fun one.
Aurora. I believe they are here actually. Yeah.
Yeah. I think for the most part, they have worked on what we asked of them last time. Entire towns have been built, roads have been built. The work is still ongoing.
AP and Volpe, I guess you can help here. As far as the stuff we marked down for them to do, we marked the 84. Java, I know, has taken a bit of a break on that project and stalled on that. I know town development has mainly Volpe. You've seen kind of Volpe, you and AP have both seen the town development side of Aurora, right?
Yeah, the entire town of Augusta has been built. I think it's got like 11, 12, 13 buildings. It's pretty.
It's got 9 buildings, but it also has terraforming issues.
I did look at it. Yes, I looked at it either yesterday or day before yesterday. I judged it then to maybe be 2 or 3 buildings off of Councillor. So it's a nice development. It's a nice town.
It's
almost there.
And I think they've been working on it all night as well. So I think there's probably been some new work since. Ooh, this is
the
nice
terraforming
road.
issues is when this house goes into a lake, and then cuts off here.
Where is this?
Just TP.
Oh, it's a road.
Yeah, they're still working on this, clearly.
Yeah, the town is still very much in active development, but I actually kind of like how it almost stands into the lake a bit. Like how they've done it here is around the back side of it's quite nice.
So where's the proposed airport? Where's the proposed airport location in relation to this? Is it north?
It's marked down Dymap Mega. They actually have like a wool outline.
Okay.
You should be near it now.
I will say though, now that I'm looking at the road that they already have, and there's a ton of terraforming issues along this thing.
So just to make sure, the things we asked them to do were build the B road, build the A road, and build a town of some substance, right?
Yeah. So the A road, they've had an addendum on their letter of why
They
it wasn't
did say
done.
that it was Java's responsibility, and they decided not to build it.
Java failed for one reason or another.
My opinion on that is if they want to build this project, whether or not Java can build the road, we did ask for the road, so I'm not sure.
I think they will probably do it if they've given a bit more time. Like there is still a lot of active development going on, and this project is like I've been watching the progress, and I think Obi's been working his fucking chops off. Even though it's been people that
Obi
have
just said that the road isn't needed, so
yeah, they're
is he going to build it?
We told them to build it. Now they're arguing they don't need it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The road was kind of needed.
Context. This section of road, south of Colora, that has been here for a while. It's
pretty bad.
You can tell in some areas that they are improved, like they are working to improve it.
Yeah, this is it's very much an area of active development.
Yes, John, we did say that. We did say the new B road was built.
Jeez, that's way closer to Wallace than I thought it was.
The real question is this enough?
I would say so. I mean, I was in favor of this last time. I think the progress has been good.
I have to disagree. I think based on the standards we set for them, they did build the B road, which is pretty good, but they built less than a councilor town, and they skipped the A road and said we'll do it later. I would be in favor of. Well, I asked earlier, and I think
the last one.
It was the A road, the town, and the B road, and at least like some sort of like regional connector transit. I don't know. I read the doc. There seems to be some transit going on, although
it's the buses, it seems.
We were a little relaxed on the transit because they had trains, I think, on their proposal, and the trains were going to go to the airport. So
and they do have the B road now. That is transit.
Sure, I've got the minutes up right now. Actually, main points were Aurora should have more infrastructure and builds to make it more contiguous. That was kind of the issue there. Found a town near the proposed A road, the 84, would help to bridge that gap between Carnoustie and Caloro.
What are you doing in Wallace? What are you doing in Wallace, Sissy?
Yes, hi. I know Volby found a Wallace, of course, on the B road, and then Augusta, which is what we saw earlier, also on the B road between Skogheim and Carnoustie.
Yeah.
We did approve them to 84 to try to help them kind of push their development in that area.
I will say that to some degree, I'm not so happy about my work in the area. Like I worked slowly. Everybody should know this. So Wallace has been going slowly. And I like this. This is nice.
I think what they have so far is good progress, but it's obviously incomplete.
They said
I
that
would also
maybe be able to finish some things by the ISM. So I mean, I guess I'm of the opinion that they've made progress, but I'm not really sure that they've done enough of what we asked.
Okay.
I agree, but I also think like just looking at this road, like the old one, this needs to be fixed up regardless of the airport. Like there's a pretty long stretch here where there's no pillars. And then if you go further, like I think this is south.
I don't know about asking them to like fix up all that if they're just gonna delete it for the airport anyway.
Oh,
like,
I see. I see.
Is this the road? Are they deleting this road?
I think the B road between Carnoustie and Caloro is going away with the airport. Yeah. So that's why.
Yeah, it's basically, I think it's a case of them not fixing it because it's going to get destroyed anyways when the airport comes in. So any terraforming is just going to be demolished.
I mean, it's parked outside the airport area that will need to be cleaned up. So they should probably clean up the road anyway.
Okay, so things that we're saying that they should fix are terraforming around the airport.
Yeah, but also I think like the A roads. The A road was honestly like the biggest connector that they had proposed, and we only approved it then because that was what was basically going to connect the region, right? Like that.
I thought the B road does that.
We proposed it.
Does the B road not already connect everything that the A road would have? Would it just have not been a duplicate connection.
84 is
Well-
north-south. This is east-west.
Yeah, but they're just deleting that B road. Unless you're talking about the other new B road that
No,
they
we're
built.
talking about the new B. They built a new B road in between Skogheim and Carnoustie with Augusta in the middle. But also there was the A84, which was going to go north-south. And I think like that we allowed them to do that without even them proposing it because that was their regional connector, right? So
Yeah.
I mean, if
Okay.
we ask them to build a road, then they've got to build a road.
I
Yeah.
guess I would like to see work on the A84 and keep working on the town. It's good so
Mhm.
far.
When would we, if we are to ask them to submit this again, when would we do that? Would that be the next GSM or the ISM?
Well, they
When they're
said at
done.
the ISM, they said
There
that
shouldn't be a time limit. It's just a matter of when they get the things
No,
done.
I mean, I know, but like, I think we asked them to submit the next GSM last time.
Well-
I don't think it really matters.
they said on their document that they said they thought they could improve some things by the ISM and finish some projects. So if they want to finish some things and submit for like their update, then I would be okay with that.
You're. I mean, I think
Right, I
just
agree.
councillor is fine.
I think ranked
That's what Obi's
councillor.
arguing is he's saying the
mean,
town
yeah.
is councillor size already.
I mean, if it's not ranked councillor, it's not councillor.
Yeah, I think he's talking about how it's a
Why
community.
weren't you
now.
allowed to?
Oh,
rank
is it a community?
Oh, it's a
Oh, I
community town.
see.
I guess I was under the impression, based on what Kyle said, that it was not large enough. But I will come and look. But I guess if it's counselor already, then that's fine. But like the A road is a pretty big connection. It's missing.
We could give it like an official, look over. Like, is this councillor worthy? Because I mean, I think.
I wouldn't
think
say
I
it's
checked it.
not counselor. It's just sort of like being worked on.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think I checked it.
9.
I
Looks
believe I
good, but
checked
yeah,
it over.
Fair encourage someone from one on
You
Frank.
cut out there, Skelly.
I believe I checked it over on either Friday or Saturday morning. Can't remember which. And I said it was close to counselor, but
That's
also
cool.
said that I probably wouldn't have given it an endorsement had I been allowed to.
They're saying that they did more development this morning.
Yeah, they were doing the development. on
I'm
it
looking
yesterday.
at it right now, and I'd still say it needs some work. Like this building here is clearly unfinished.
Okay, so is it this town in particular you want them to grow? And the A road, then we would say yes.
Yeah,
I feel like how flat
this and
these
the
are.
A road are the two big things.
Yeah, I think this is. I'm not sure if this would be counselor.
It's close,
Hmm.
but I reckon if
I
you
would
just
say
build more,
Yeah.
like,
buildings.
I couldn't in good terms say this is a council town yet. It would need a little bit more terraforming, a little bit more building. I think we're close. I think we're it's not my town. I think you are pretty close though. I think just
Well,
a little
I
bit
mean-
another build or two, you've got it.
John, to answer John Gee's point about just asking, like, if we can do that and then start building, the problem is, like, if we asked to do this stuff at the last GSM and then you guys just assumed approval now, but we don't think it's up to standard, that would be a problem. So I don't think that's something that
yeah,
would be.
we need to look
What?
at it and be okay with it.
What if?
But yeah, I did say, like, at the ISM, you guys did say in your letter that you think some things could be done by the ISM. So I would say, I think that we should consider it then.
What this might be probably going to get shot down pretty quickly, but what if we just gave them a conditional yes you can do it, but like immediately once X and Y is done, no GSM or ISM required. Just
No.
We have to determine that it is done.
Yeah.
This is a
probably
community
send us
town.
an
We have to
email.
evaluate at GSMs, ISMs though. That as
We will
did
look at it
this
at a GSM or ISM whenever they submit.
When's the next ISM? 2 weeks from now.
Yes.
That's,
Yeah. Given that they said this is a community town, it has to go through GSM or ISM to be deemed counselor worthy.
I don't even think we should probably just do it at the ISM, not like giving it necessarily the benefits of a counselor ranked town. Like I don't think it needs a seaplane, right? Like, you know.
Well, they could have one, unfortunately. I'd love to get a seaplane here, but nah, I don't think it would work. What the hell?
But yeah, I would say this town is almost there, and the route for the
Oh my god, look at this.
yeah, and in the meantime, we'd like to see this town get do the small things it needs to do to get to counselor, and then progress on
And
the
the road.
84. Is that what we were saying?
Yes, so the road and Augusta, build up Augusta more to counselor is what I have noted. Is that wrong?
The A road, the A84.
Build the A84. Yeah,
I
so
feel
build
like
up Augusta.
like the A84 has to be built at least even in the Aurora region. Like I know it was planning to go out, but like the A84 just has to be done within the Aurora region.
I know that this was Java's project and about it, but like we can't, like we're looking for regional connection and we think that road will help. So like if anyone else can step up and like work on that, maybe if Java's not going to be available.
Another question, sorry, I'm just trying to help them a bit. Regarding so if this is a community town, it requires to be counselor, right? They'd be able to submit this for counselor, the same thing.
Counselor equivalent. It's not actually going to rank up.
Okay, sorry. I must have misinterpreted.
And to reiterate, don't force yourself to get this done as soon as possible. Like I know Java has been dealing with some stuff IRL. Like don't force yourself past like what you can.
Like just submit it when you're ready.
Yeah.
A bit more terrifying down the line here.
Yeah, no, I do like this town. I think it's a strong start.
Oh yeah.
I think we said the full A4.
I thought you said the A84 through Aurora. Was that Dalt?
That was
the
not
full route of the 84 that we approved is through Aurora.
What does that mean? Basically, yeah, just the section that you were planning on having in Aurora should be done.
This was the original map they submitted for 84.
J-Train, we've seen that comment. Please don't keep spamming it.
Yeah, and J-Train, it doesn't really matter that the town will be built up by the airport. Like, the town being built up is the contingency to, like, declare it, like, a connected region worthy of having the airport. So without the town, then, you know, it's not the region we're asking for.
Okay, wait. John G has a question based on the A84 proposal.
I mean, they can move it a little. Like it's a proposed route. Like
yeah,
do whatever you need to do.
We don't need you to follow like it exactly.
Right.
We assume that all routes are approximations when you submit those proposals. So if you need to reroute it a little bit to work with the other roads that you've built, that's completely fine.
Yeah, there you get like the right word, but you get a choice to at least move it around wherever you need to.
Your end goal's pretty much in sight. Like you're definitely close. It's hard to really disagree with that. Yeah, just a little bit more kind of Augusta, a little bit more. Get that A road done, and you will have that airport good as gold and rolling onto the server. I'm excited to see when that like that could be third largest airport, probably the largest community built airport too. Maybe the only community built airport. Oh dear.
Oh god, that's not something you want to ask for.
Really playing gates. I mean, it's big. It's near a big lake, you know. It's near a very big lake.
Two separate proposals, technically, I guess. The B road,
I
I
don't
looked
like
into this
the
a bit.
road path.
I actually
The
was doing
road
some
path?
research on this. Oh, sorry,
Oh,
go,
sorry.
Kyle.
You go.
I was going to say on the road at least. The unknown town was Kitty's at one point, where Kitty mentioned that he gave it away. Didn't remember who. So that's fine for a bypass, IAT, whatever. I agree with Kyle about the road path. I don't like it crossing the bay. There's at least a
Yeah,
good sized road around the unknown town. I would be fine with rerouting to use.
yeah, just go curve around the water. There's no need for a bridge, or
Well, yeah, there's
no
actually
need for two bridges.
Yeah, there's actually a pretty good sized road there that he can use as the B road in that area.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, don't go over the water. Essentially,
Honestly, I mean, if anything, it's the canal that bugs me. Like he's making a concerted effort to follow the river, but he just violates that around. Like, why not just expand the entire river a bit? It'll look a lot better. It'll look a lot more natural. And you won't have to just start cutting gashes through a frozen tundra.
It's a very lengthy canal, to be fair.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm not sure about it. If I'm going to be fully honest, I don't quite trust Swiss's terraforming, so I'd be worried about damage to the landscape there.
is he listening?
Oh, god damn it, stupid tree.
I know I've mentioned my idea to him before about rerouting around the town. I mentioned it to him yesterday.
Fwish is not in the Discord voice chat. Oh, he is. Sorry, he is.
Canal looks good, but it might be difficult to do without world edit. So just make sure to ask for world edits. It's trying to follow the river.
I mean, if it followed the river up and then cut across that whole bottom part and then met up with the river again after that,
The first image is the canal. The second image is the road.
Yeah, that road routing is a bit peculiar, just how it shoots across the water like that.
Yeah, we already asked him to change that.
I mean, why? I also don't get, like, why pick that section of the A92 to branch off of? Wouldn't it make more sense to do it further up or through the Mega Taiga? Or even on the other side of the Mega Taiga, where you wouldn't have to go around, or go through or around the bay?
It might be that it's flatter there and easy to connect. I don't know.
Possibly.
Yeah, but I think it'd be easier to go to the left, as Volpe suggested.
I mean,
Yeah,
he did say that Vicky is helping him with interchange, so that
Yeah,
can help too.
that does give me confidence. I just say widen the river. Yeah, I do like the plan so far, like how it does follow the river in large portions. But yeah, I think it should just, if you're going to do that, you should just follow the river entirely and widen some of the narrow bits of the river to make it navigable. You folks are hearing me, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
If okay, so just follow the river, widen the river in narrow places, so you can turn the river into the canal. It would probably be actually easier for you, Fwiz, because you don't have to do any manual terraforming. You can just push, open the river a bit and just terraform the bits of the river you've had to adjust. Fwiz, your name makes my tongue feel weird when I say it. Yeah, Fwiz.
I think it's FWIS.
Yeah.
The A980 reroute would be to have it, instead of it's where it is now, it would go through Adavirus's town at WN52, where I'm at right now, if you'd like to TP.
So is it that yellow segment on the image he provided?
Yes, he would be going through the yellow segment instead of the blue segment, and he would pick off again from where the yellow ends and the blue begins east of WN52.
Yeah, just to account for that new town that popped up there.
And this road doesn't exist. The blue part doesn't exist yet, right? Or
I don't think much of the road exists yet.
It's like,
because he says it's modification. Okay, yeah, I'm fine with that.
Yeah, it increases the utility of the road. Helps.
Actually, I want to. Is Sasha here? Because
yeah,
maybe that's something that can be addressed another time with this road section or not.
What?
Is Sasha gonna use this road section that's already got built in Adavirus's town?
The loop?
Is there already a bit of a road segment here?
Yeah, TP to me.
I mean, it looks very incomplete. I'm sure if he wants to get rid of this, he can have it rolled back.
This looks really... That's just a floating road. This is just a floating road.
Okay, apparently this isn't part of...
Yeah, it seems to be Ada's construction, so I'd be in favor of just telling Ada, hey, fix your floaty thingy.
Okay, yeah.
Jesus.
Guess it's Ada's responsibility.
Obi had a question about the 84. They had a small chunk of the road they wanted us to take a look at real quick to make sure it was okay. Yeah.
Oh yeah, this looks good.
Oh, that's a beautiful curve. Oh yeah, I like this. I really like this. This is an amazing curve. The road's got a beautiful thickness to it.
Bit difficult to drive over, mind.
Yeah, it goes down, then it goes up, and then it...
More if
Yeah, let's move on. Events.
The events.
He is.
He is currently typing.
Yeah, it's like trivia. Not trivia. It's like
It's like it's just it's an art
adventure sort of. It's cool. I like it.
Is it kind of like Big Brother in that it's like not really scheduled?
I think it's more akin to if you remember the Portal at Home thing that happened a while ago.
The what?
Portal at home, or I mean, it's as long as TF2's ARGs as well, where the whole community was working together to figure out what the heck was about to happen. Because
Okay,
Valve had been, sort of that sort of thing. I think it's like that, but with a more game show format where people are working together or competing with each other and people get eliminated. Yeah, and an actual plot rather than just being a teaser to some update where you shoot robots.
Right.
It was a good update.
Yeah,
It was a good robot.
Yeah, I'm curious to see how this goes.
It'll be first for the server, and I hope it goes well. I would approve it, although I will say the prize amount.
Wipeout has prize amount. What is it?
4,000.
The winner is 3,000. Other finalists 1,000.
This is
Anyone
high,
is
but
50.
honestly, I think with Wipeout's skill level at running this, I think this might be fine, especially if it's a longer game show than most, because it's
No,
not.
my only concern would be how many people are participating, or expected to, rather.
He is typing.
And the high amount might be good just to get interest. 6 to 10 people, he says.
7 to 10 people.
6 to 10, I think, is fine with the number that's here.
Hopefully you'll get more people with a slightly higher prize amount.
Wait, is it slightly higher or the one that's approved? Because which one?
Well, the numbers that are there. Because it's 3,000 for the winner. So hopefully they'll encourage people to play.
I can answer this. Because I participated in a little bit of part of the preseason. It is somewhat difficult in that the one thing I would say is that I would ensure that it's a bit more linear in trying to figure things out, because when in the preseason it was a little unclear when stuff was ready and stuff isn't. So that would be one complaint kind of on how the preseason went. Otherwise, if it's done more linear and done the fashion that it was the preseason, I think it should be fine.
All right, yeah, so kind of to explain, originally I know, and thank you, Yoshi, for kind of looking at, I ran a preseason, which was a more traditional just string of puzzles to get, to kind of also learn for myself what was like the maximum I could push people, and what I learned from that, it's going to be much easier. Most of, if you look in the format I posted, really the biggest skill level will be for the assignment, which is the first part of the section, following a social more social based thing, and then the final will be the elimination, which may also include a short challenge. But yeah, it's like if you had participated in Assassins or Big Brother or the MRT build off, that adult running, you'll be fine skill level wise.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, the only concern is the ones I brought up, which is I would ensure that the puzzles are kind of more laterally thinking, because sometimes they were a little leaps, but I would just ensure it's kind of like that.
Like, will you be transporting other players through these warps?
I'm curious what it's used for necessarily.
He says increasing homes. All right.
Well, okay, but what is it? I'm a little confused in what is it used for. In that, is it going to be like live during the event? Is it when you're constructing? What is it for? Yes, because you said it is hard to go easier one side after another. But if it's when you're like constructing and planning, that wouldn't be necessary. But it's like during the live event, it's a little unclear.
From what I'm reading on the old agenda, his plan includes hiding clues around Minecraft, so I would assume that's what he means, because the answers would be submitted through Discord DMs.
Because I'm curious if it's asynchronous, right? Then I feel like it wouldn't be necessary if it's asynchronous.
He says he'll need them to get to them quickly for final preparation. I guess similar to setting up clues and tar.
Yeah, tar. So is it a live event or not a live? Because I'm a little confused because Skelly said this, so I'm a little lost. Well, I think he said it's because Skelly read it was submitting Discord DMs the answers. Is that what you said, Skelly?
Yes. That's what he said in a comment on his agenda item from January when Chief asked about it.
So is it, yeah, the question is it, is it like synchronous as in like there are like sessions like Assassins or Survivor, or is it like asynchronous like Big Brother or the MRT, the Great MRT build off?
What my plan is to have two segments of my event, both lasting 24 hours. So, for example, I'd open it at 5 p.m. UTC, and then players would have 24 hours to start and complete it. From the time they start it, I'm expecting it to last them 2 to 3 hours if they continuously work on it. Some places, yes, will have them answer questions in game that I will be checking, or I'll have one of my friends on the MRT manage it, I guess. And some are just clues within the area leading to the next part of the riddle, if that makes sense.
I think I'm trying to piece together. Do you know how many homes or warps you would need?
Probably 5 would do me good.
Okay.
Probably a reasonable number. Yeah.
I think this is fine personally. I don't see any. If it helps the event, I would say if other event stays in the future, I think I should absolutely ask for this sort of stuff because it could help the events go a lot more smoothly.
How many homes does Mayor have by default?
10.
10, okay.
So we're giving Sasha 10 more homes?
I think we can. So a few people, a lot of server lag. I think what we could do is just to ensure that it gets used properly. When you need it, I think because you said you are busy, so like it might not come soon. I think. So whenever you physically need a game, I think you can request it, and then we'll get it set up. Especially after I think From takes a look at the permissions and stuff.
I'm looking up the permission.
Yeah. Yeah, just contact us to get it set up whenever you need it, because I think you're in planning right now. So yeah.
I do have a little side thing, but I could probably wait after the trustee notes. We could do it now, Mega.
Let me get back in game.
Yeah.
What is it?
Yeah. So, folks, Mega and I have been working on a little secret project following a brief little discussion. So we've been working on a little TF2 server for the MRT, a wholly unofficial one. So basically, it's pretty much ready. We're going to be opening it after the GSM. We encourage you folks to boot it up, play. We've got some custom maps, such as we've got Train Saw Laser. We've got a fun map called Koth Nipple Twister. That's a very fun map, I assure you. We've also got things like Slasher. I think we've got also every map except for Doomsday, because Doomsday didn't work with the bots. Yeah, we've got some other plugins on there to help things run more smoothly, like Nomination and other custom bots. They rocket jump. They're named after MRT towns, so it is very possible for you to get backstabbed by a bot called Hendon.
That did happen.
I mean, yeah, I took the Hendon crocked me in the face. It was horrible.
Yeah.
So once the trust that's all ready and done, I will be opening the Discord.
There's a Discord. Yeah, there's a Discord server. They'll have the IP and password. In the meantime, download the game because it's several gigabytes.
Oh yeah, it's a very fun game. I'm just doing some final preparations now, generating navs, yada yada.
And it's free to play as well.
Yeah. It's a shooter game. Yeah. I have 3.5 thousand hours at minimum. Yeah, I main Pyro and Demopan, so
yeah.
Yeah, TF2 is a it is a
main Pyro. So. Anyway,
challenge.
TF2 we can first-person shooter. It is free on Steam. Very fun. I would encourage you try it out.
The server is 24/7 online, so you can join whenever you want.
Oh yeah, and again, always there's bots as well, so you can always just play alone with bots or invite a friend and. Yeah, I will be placing that in the auxiliary discords after the GSM, so be on the lookout for that. There is it is password protected, and you can find the password and the IP in that Discord announcements channel, or maybe it's help channel. I don't remember. I think it's because there's not enough violence. I think if OpenTD had more violence, like you could just throw
multi-track drift. Yeah, we are getting
off track.
Fly a plane to opponent's HQ.
I do have actually one small announcement, which is if you haven't seen already, there is a small poll in event announcements about just gauging interest on the possible next screenshot contest. So vote in it if you are interested, or if you're not interested, there is also an option to say you don't want it either. But yeah, just check event announcements at your latest convenience.
Also, don't forget to sign up for the Mons Predator Spleef tournament.
All right. Speaking of getting off track, I think we are.
Q&A time.
Ooh, meeting us time.
Just /spawn. Or slash through. We'll jump
Hey,
into
Chief, may I
spectator.
to keep those trusty notes from you?
Y'all got any damn trustee notes? We're not starting with. Do we usually start with that?
Sometimes.
Let me just steal them.
I'll use this opportunity to go to the bathroom.
Yeah, I don't have my Discord on the side, so ping me for questions that way. But first off, of course, the trustee meeting notes. So let's get through this. Whew. And such, the trustee meeting notes today were brought to you by Sans Luigi. Barshop Delete Ring Road nominated to trustee. Motion passed. A360 No Scope Ring Road nominated trustee. Motion passed. Sans Not Luigi's PFP profile picture nominated for trustee. Motion fails. Caspian C nominated for trustee. Motion passes. Okay. Republic of Miasto nominated for trustee. Motion passes. Chief Shack, home of Vermilion Man, nominated for trustee. Motion passes. All 7 members of BTS nominated for trustee. Motion fails. Sans' W key nominated for trustee. Motion passes. Conrec, the official drink at the MRT, nominated for trustee. Motion passes. Glowlight Awards, nominated for trustee. Motion failed. Manchester United, nominated for trustee. Motion passes. Ruffman, nominated for trustee. Motion passes. General Business, Stack Sandsvik East until it reaches Ellerton Fosby. Motion passes. Recognize National Airlines is better than the FS National Party. Motion passes. Ban Migwin from posting any K-pop girl in Discord. Motion passes. Ban the word awoo and recognize the Epsilia as real news. Motion passes. Have CCC9 start his show where he joins games just to fail at them. Motion passes. We'll do that any game show, gladly. Add must be good at parkour to the mod criteria. Motion passes. Add must win at least one Yoshi event to mod criteria. Motion passes. Construct a pixel art of Ruffman at spawn, which will be converted into a Frumple temple with a lag machine that dispenses Francesca heads and infinite note blocks playing the word fetch with Ruffman theme song. Motion passes. Motion passes.
Yeah, right.
Outlaw lotto strikes. Motion passes. Classify death as the worst medical condition that one can experience in the MRT. Motion passes. Motion to require all broadcasters to air Aqua's 3 commercials. Motion failed. Recognize GME as the official stock of the MRT. Motion passes.
Stunk, goddammit.
God damn it. Official stonk. To the moon. Yes, we're going to the moon with GME. Ban Doc Stuffins and Calm Ming. Motion passes. Defer all K-pop related proposals for the rest of this meeting to the next. Motion passes. This is not a trustee meeting motion. Motion passes. Recognize Singlish as the official language of the MRT Islamabad. Motion passes. Everyone in the MRT is loved by someone. Aw. Motion passes. Declare the r/place 2 road ad an A road with the name A-P14C3. Motion passes. And those are all the notes from the trustee meeting.
What was that about Ellerton Fosby?
No, let's not go back.
I will give them to you later, AP. You can read it for your own entertainment.
Q&A time.
Okay, I'm just doing some final preparations.
Ping me for actual questions.
Yeah.
I'll launch you once Q&A is over.
Yes, John G. Yep, Kitty.
I know it's the wrong order, John G.
ISM is in. Can Kitty be unmuted? Let me do that. Should be good, Kitty.
Hi, I just want to ask, so I'm aware the staff keep minutes for the GSM. Would it be possible for those minutes to just be made public so that members can see them? Because I feel like that makes sense for the public portion.
I advocated for this like a year ago.
So I actually write the minutes myself. There's actually no difference between the minutes themselves and the propaganda that gets put up on the website.
So, in terms of like the main difference is that the propaganda takes like a few days, whereas the minutes are like people can look at them like people could look at them maybe like during the GSM or like right after the GSM.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And have it like, and you could have it so that it's like viewable even like during the GSM, like live updated.
Mm-hmm.
There is one thing. The minutes do tend to be very much note taking. It's very much they're very much so. Unreadable without context is probably the term I'd use. So you would need the context of the propaganda anyway to understand them.
It'd be useful to the media.
My brain just kind of jots down stuff to go back to later to get back to. Mainly, it's my brain trying to help myself later. Yeah, I mean, if we want to next meeting, I'm fine with doing that minutes. We can put a link on the agenda for the minutes then.
I also would like access to the minutes for this meeting because I'm going to be making a recap program basically as soon as the GSM ends.
Let me change that permission. Copy link. 1 sec. There. And then boom. That should be good.
All right. Awesome. Thank you.
And then I guess from now on we will split the minutes.
If we need to.
I remember this getting shut down because we thought like, oh, nobody.
Propaganda will be written up as soon as possible, pending my motivation, because that's my job. So yeah.
And while we're promoting things, GSM Recap is premiering today on MBS. Stay tuned. I yield the floor.
Now we communicate again. Sasha had a question.
Just some more context on the on my event. Now that it's February vacation for me, I should have a lot more time to plan my event more thoroughly. So I should have everything set up hopefully by the end of this week for a proper list of what should happen during the event.
Yeah, I'm not. Yeah,
Not really a question, but just some more context for the staff about my proposal.
You should have the homes by restart. I haven't figured out how to do it. It may require a config change.
Are there any other questions? I know somebody mentioned ISM. That will be in 2 weeks. Going once. Going twice. Sold.
Okie dokie. Is that all?
Thank you. Propaganda will be out ASAP.
Okay, I will get that server invite ready to go. Let me just go and. I'm nervous.
Auxiliary Discords, I assume.
Oh yeah, it's just I'm just creating invites. See maximum uses. No limit. Expire never. Let's go.
Go and shoot your friends.
Oh yeah, I mean you don't. If it gets popular enough, it will be an official one.
And as a very, very quick advertisement, that's definitely not self-promotion whatsoever. If you want to listen to some love songs, there is some radio happening in about an hour.
Ooh.
In the meantime,
I might
TF2.
post a link somewhere.
Sniping's a good job, mate.
Oh my god.